All right. Hey there. Good morning, guys. Happy New Year's Eve. I am meteorologist Ben Peine here with your Ben at 10 show. It's your local weather show throughout Southern Indiana, Metro Louisville, and beyond for this Wednesday, December the 31st, as we wrap up this crazy 2025. Been a year of new beginnings for me, and we've got even more new beginnings. Going to be announcing some exciting news in early 2026 as well. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, just have some chilly, mostly cloudy conditions across the area. Very quiet stretch of weather that'll take us through the first week of our new year. I'm only looking at like a small rain chance late next Tuesday, and then a more active wetter weather pattern late next week into next weekend. So we've got we can just kind of ease into the new year with not a whole lot going on. Thanks for watching on my page here, Meteorologist Ben Peine, Peine. Thanks for liking or subscribing on Extol Weather as well on Facebook, Extol Media. That's Extol Media on YouTube. We're live streaming there as well. And we're live streaming at extolmag.com/weather on the good old World Wide Web. So feel free to drop in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from. If you have any weather questions, feel free to guide the show wherever you'd like it to go. Don't feel bad for derailing the show. If you're popping in and you want to just see what the 7-day looks like, we can kind of jump around. It's laid back. There are no rules. We can do whatever we want. And speaking of doing whatever we want, I want to look outside here real quick. The format of the show, if you're new, we give you the current conditions, quick forecast, look at some comments, chat a little bit, and then we'll dig into the heart of the forecast. We've got weather history, weather jokes, weather countdown, some interesting information through about 10:20. And then if you really want to stick around, we will dive into the weather model data, and we'll look at the long-range forecast, and then we'll wrap it all up again with another look at the forecast. If you're watching the replay, hey, thanks for watching. If it's in the afternoon and evening time, have a fun and safe New Year's Eve celebration later on tonight. So again, speaking of our look outside, we can take a look at that here right now with the Falls of the Ohio Foundation.org camera. And again, we've got a layer of flat looking clouds out there. It will be mostly cloudy for today. It looks like the birds are having a good time there along the Falls of the Ohio. And temperatures are mostly in the lower to mid 30s across the region. Pop up some of those current temperatures here as well. As we bring up extolmag.com. And there's our live stream up right now. 32 degrees is have out there now. The wind gusting at 11. That puts our wind chill at a feels like of 25 degrees. Not as cold as our last couple of mornings, but still kind of chilly out there. And only about an 8-degree warm up, heading to around 40 later on this afternoon. You can get all your different weather variables right there that you can see with our current conditions. The middle tab right here that I'm clicking on is the daily weather forecast through the next 7 or 8 days. And then the hourly forecast here, which shows mostly overcast conditions as we try to hit near 40 degrees, which, isn't too far from our normal highs for this time of the year. There is the brand new up there. And we are, by the way, we're live inside my kitchen. So we're going to be testing the power, as always, of the Starlink internet. So every once in a while, there might be a little bit of a glitch, but just hang in there. It'll come back. And we actually have some hope that they've been running some fiber, it looks like, in the neighborhood. So we might be raging with some high-speed internet before too long. And we got Perry Porter always here with us. We got the Bliss Cup this morning. Cheers to you. I'll see you next year, Perry. And make sure to have the coffee. And Sandy made me a full pot of coffee. And if you're ever wanting a beautiful, delicious cake, go to Sandy's in Borden. And that's a great place to. That's where my mom gets all of her cakes, by the way. Orlean Whitlow, a very good morning at the end of 25-26. I hope it's a great year for everyone. Good morning. Yes, indeed. A pleasant, prosperous, peaceful 2026 on the way, I hope, for everyone. It is the 250th anniversary of the United States this coming year. And it's also midterm elections. So we hope it'll just be nice and peaceful for everybody. Karen Razor, Happy New Year. Heading over to Lexington today. Now, if you're in Lexington tonight, you have the best chance to get some flurries. Up in Madison to Lexington, I would say, is the best chance up towards Cincinnati. Little clipper system there. Most of us probably won't see those flurries. Keith, Tennessee, across the creek, over the woods we go. Good morning to you, sir. Thanks for tuning in here this morning as well. And again, feel free to drop in those comments and let us know where you're tuning in from as well. Love to see that representation across the area. Brand new weather story has been posted. If you want to check out a lot of the weather graphics that I put on here, but for a little bit longer, they are there for you as well. Cruising on down, Extol Mac. Very quiet conditions. Day 1, day 2, severe weather outlook is nothing. And as we cruise on down a little bit farther, I think I'm already seeing some of those flurries showing up on the interactive maps here. Let me fix our view. Well, maybe not much. Just some cloud cover. And here's a look at the current conditions map with our temperatures across the area as we are hovering in the lower 30s currently. It is a little breezy. I do see the dead ferns on the back porch blowing in the breezes. We got kind of a steady west-southwest wind today at around 10 to 15 miles per hour. And Mary Dale, Happy New Year to you. Looking forward to your news next year. Yeah, sorry to give a way too early news announcement, but it should be coming early 2026. And actually, a lot of news, actually. Jackie Strange, good morning from Georgetown. Happy New Year to you. And we got Dennis Gregory from Bedford. Temperature looking better today, but darn, it's still cold out there. It is indeed. It makes it feel like the 20s with that breeze. And Orlean Whitlow with 32 degrees there in Hodgenville, where it is partly cloudy. A little more sunshine over Kentucky this morning. We can actually pull up the rad sat. You can see this little layer of clouds kind of coming down from the north. And then it looks like the flurries right now up toward Pittsburgh. Beautiful Pittsburgh. But again, there is a little clipper system up here. If you can feast your eyes up here towards Minneapolis, that's going to be drifting to the southeast. And so on that line, I would say the best chance for some flurries tonight will be generally, I'll draw it out right here, around this area. I would say Madison, you got a chance, North Vernon, Seymour, maybe Bedford, Kentucky, Newcastle, Kentucky, down towards Lexington. Maybe just, some friendly flurries out there. Don't think it'll cause any problems for anybody. All right, let me get out of that view right there. And before we go on to some other stuff, I would just like to say thank you for your support. And again, have a pleasant, peaceful, and prosperous 2026. As a wild 2025, as I've, shifted careers here with the independent weather. We'll be doing a whole lot more stuff in 2026. So again, just thank you so much for being here and being part of the chat with our live stream every day. Here is a look at your weather headlines for our December 31st. Chilly, dry weather pattern here for us for a long time. And again, I mentioned those flurries just now off to the northeast, mainly for us. Dry weather outlook through much of next week. We may see the return of active weather and wet weather as we head into next weekend. So not this week. So we'll take a look at that here coming up as well in your full forecast. We've got, again, I saw Orleans comment there. So there's a quick check of that forecast. Let me go ahead and bring this up once again. And before we dig in, as always, definitely want to thank our partners here for allowing us to do what we do here on the Ben at 10 show and Extol Weather and Extol Media. Lyons Roofing, Lyons, roofingco.com. Protecting your most valuable asset for a lifetime. You can get free quotes here at Lyons Roofing or give them a call, 812-294-3595. Had a testimonial on a post yesterday from somebody here in the comments, Keith Hennessy, saying he had some great communication with them, did a great job. So you can get some more information about their services all right here at their website. You can also check out the services of Ivy Tech Community College by going to ivytech.edu, go to locations, go to Sellersburg, and that's where you can also sign up for Tuesdays at the Tech, get one-on-one information. You can see dozens of their programs offered. When you click on the programs that they have here, I'm going to go to see more right here and just click on nursing. Got a great nursing program, of course. And when you click on that, you're going to learn all about it. And you'll learn what the median salaries are. You can see the calendar here. They've got their spring sessions beginning here very soon. So that's where you can get hooked up here to learn more how to pay for college, financial aid, scholarships, career coaching. They make it very accessible for you. They're expanding, really becoming a community hub in Sellersburg, empowering the workforce in Southern Indiana and beyond. All right, if you want to get a quote here, head to Michael Long. You go to amfam.com and search Michael Long. And this is my insurance agent, my mom's insurance agent. We had recently had price reductions, which was very nice for the budget. And you might be able to save too by bundling things up. He can help you out with life insurance, car insurance, home insurance, all the different insurances. You can give him a call, 812-578-3072. Proud to be an American Star Certified Agency Excellence and Customer Experience throughout our region. Also, a big thank you to Libs Paving. They are trying to get all the work that they can do. They're always trying to dodge the bad weather, and I help them through that throughout the year. And you might have a good opportunity here or someone you know in 2026. They've got some job openings here that you might want to take a look at, and you can apply there online. So again, thanks to all of our. We're going to have some new partnerships to talk about in the new year that we're excited about as well. That'll provide a lot of new content. Oh, there's the sun trying to peek through kind of a thin, again, flat layer of some mid-level clouds out there. And again, that's a live look with the Falls of the Ohio Foundation.org camera. All right, let's fire up this forecast here. So here we go. If you ever want to get a hold of me, you can just email me, ben@extolmag.com just ben@extolmag.com. It's just right there. It's easy to do. So we've been averaging over 2 million views over the last 28 days. If you want to learn about some advertising marketing solutions for your business, organization, or someone you know, there you go. Easy to hook up right there. All right, looking ahead here. Oh, that's the dog. We've got a door open. Hold on. What are you doing? We had a door left open, and the poor mailman is getting chased down the road. That's not great. All right. Let's see what we got going on here. We have in the comments, Perry asking, how's the weather looking like tomorrow? We're heading to Lafayette to see our great granddaughter. It's just looking cold. We're looking cold, but it will be dry. So it looks like you're in good shape there. Might get a couple flurries up to the north. And very quiet weather, which we're digging into the forecast here for you. Happy New Year, Orlean Whitlow, to you and the family, to you and your family as well. And happy to do that for you. All right, let's get into it here, guys. The good old countdown, one day into the new year, of course. Average coldest in 17 days. Typically around January 16th is the dead of winter. And then we slowly claw out day after day. And the average highs start to go up after that gradually. And we get later sunsets gradually as well. Our time change in 68 days. Speaking of later sunsets, when our sunsets are around 8 p.m. and then spring in 79 days. Our weather history for today: 1876, a heavy snowstorm hit southern Arkansas and amounts over 20 inches. 1876, Indianapolis. 1876 becomes the wettest year on record with 57 inches of precipitation. 1882, downtown San Francisco saw over 3 inches of snow. We got a lot of football here. 1967, the Green Bay Packers beat the Dallas Cowboys 21-17 in the Ice Bowl. It was 13 degrees below zero at Lambeau Field. Wind chill, 36 below. 1978, Europe's coldest temperature on record at 73 degrees below zero in Russia. 1988, the Chicago Bears beat the Eagles 20-12 in the Fog Bowl. Dense fog reduced visibility to less than 20 yards. In the year 2000, the Independence Bowl, the Snow Bowl, snow blew into Shreveport, Louisiana, blanketing the field. Mississippi State beat Texas A&M 43-41. By the way, go Hoosiers tomorrow. I think it's at 4 p.m. They need to beat Alabama. And then 2010, numerous tornadoes swarmed the Ozarks to central Illinois and Mississippi. EF3 twisters struck multiple locations. And unfortunately, 9 people were killed. And we've got a hello from Michael Long. We just talked about Michael Long. Happy New Year's Eve. Tell everyone to be safe tonight. It is the most dangerous day of the year to be on the roadways. Good decisions tonight. Start the new year off on the right path. Defensive driving is a must. If you're out tonight, stay safe. And actually, speaking of that, I'm using the AmFam app, and it has literally made me a safer driver, no doubt. When it comes to saving money, you can change your habits for the better. I have learned. So there you go. Happy New Year to the Longs. And Lillian Lasley, good morning, 32 degrees at the house. And good morning to Rita Marple. And thanks for tuning in here on a New Year's Eve. Okay, the stupid weather jokes of the day. My resolution is to stop procrastinating. Hey, but I'll wait until tomorrow to start that. Hey, that makes sense. We're starting tomorrow for our resolutions, right? Anybody got any resolutions in the chat? Let me know. Hey, John Fox, Happy New Year. Thanks for tuning in here this morning. Let's celebrate New Year's by making poor decisions. P-O-U-R, pouring the champagne. Knock, knock. Who's there? Ben. Ben who? Been waiting on the ball drop all day. Hey, we got a Ben joke in there. All right. Those are your free stupid weather jokes of the day. And here's your forecast. For today, your Wednesday, December 31st, 40 degrees, chilly breezes, mostly cloudy, southwest wind at around 10 to 15 miles per hour, sunset at 5:32. Thank you, Beverly, for the support of the stupid weather jokes of the day. All right, we were moving right along here with our low tonight, 30 degrees, not too terribly cold. But it will be cloudy, a couple flurries off to the northeast. Madison, friends, I think you have the best chance for some of those flurries tonight. And the New Year's Eve ball drop forecast. Everybody have fun, safe time out there. Temperatures will gradually drop through the 30s to near freezing at midnight. It'll be dry and a west wind at around 5 to 15 miles per hour. Joe Banks, thanks for popping in the comments here this morning. And the forecast here for tomorrow, our first day of 2026. Oh, look, this is how you know. Now I got to let in a dog, but I'm going to go back to that. This is how you know AI is not making these graphics. All right. Andy, come here. Andy, come here. All right. So, guys, this is Annie's not on the show very often because she's an old pup. 1 out of 3 just came in. She's 14 years young and still goes out and chases everything around the yard. She's a pretty pup. All right, you did good. Oh, you want a hug? All right. Mr. P, do you want to get on the show this morning? Kitty, come here. We've got an audience this morning. Here's Mr. P. How you doing, buddy? He'll probably be meowing a lot here in just a second. All right. He doesn't want to be up here. All right. All right. So here is the evidence that I make these graphics because there's a mistake. Find the mistake. The mistake is the date. I got to get used to going from 2025 to 2026. So tomorrow is 2026, not 2024. We're not going to do 2025 over again. Michael Long got the bald eagles out there in South Boston, loving this cold weather. We have some that fly around Deem Lake and will kind of make it out here sometimes as well. What a great comeback they've had here over the last couple decades. Joe Banks talking about Annie and Beverly with Mr. P. Mr. Purrington. All right, so there's your forecast. Chilly, upper 30s for tomorrow. Lisa, Happy New Year to you. Thanks for saying hello here this morning. So our sun up tomorrow morning, 7:59. Who's getting up early tomorrow and doing that morning jog? Not me, but I am going to turn over another new leaf of trying to get back to being more active. Sunset at 5:33. All right, your 7-day forecast. We've got 38 tomorrow for the first day of the year. We have 44 for the second day of the new year, Friday. Lower 40s, that's pretty close to normal highs. Our normal high is 44, and our normal low is 29 degrees. Heading to some 50s, it looks like early next week. So even a little bit better with those temperatures going maybe near 10 degrees above normal. Joe Banks wrote a check a few days ago and dated it 1978. Hilarious. Clara Matthews, a good morning to you. Thanks for tuning into the show here this morning. And so then I've got just a little bit of a chance. The Euro and the GFS show kind of a little clipper system that might give us a shot at a few light rain showers late next Tuesday evening. But what we'll see with the weather models as I fire them up here in just a second, as we come up to around 10:20, is late next week. It looks like we'll start to get a more active weather pattern. And unfortunately, it looks like a wetter pattern. In my opinion, if it's January, I don't want big, heavy rainfall. It runs off. If you get too much, it can cause flooding. We have to clean the dog's paws all the time on the wood floors. It's just nasty to get heavy rain in January. So I'm hoping it's not too heavy. If you look at the European weather model, and you can look at all these weather models for free on different weather websites, of course, but the Euro looks really wet into next weekend. So I'm hoping that'll change. Mary Dale, yes, I make all the weather graphics. And Lillian Lasley, Happy New Year to you. Clara Matthews, Happy New Year. Good morning to you. All right, let's fire up the weather models here for you. I'm going to get rid of this, add this, and bring it up more full screen. I was thinking that too. We do not need a repeat of the winter of 1978. My parents talked about snow drifts that were up to mailboxes back in the day there. And of course, extreme cold as well. All right, so quiet conditions over much of the United States. Looks like they've got wet weather over southwestern California and a little clipper system to our northwest over parts of Wisconsin and Minnesota. That will give us maybe a few flurries around Madison, Indiana later on tonight. All right, we're going to just jump ahead to the GFS weather model. It's one of the long-range weather models, and it's going to take us out to our next chances of some precipitation. And we'll look at the busier weather late next week. So really, I am just going to jump right ahead here to Tuesday, where we might have a light rain chance on so Tuesday the 6th. I believe that's correct. So going here to the 6th of Tuesday. There it is. There's that little kind of clipper system. It's not a big deal. We go to 7 p.m. It shows kind of some light rain stuff around the area. We're in the 50s, so it would just be a few light rain showers. Right now, it looks like the steadier rains up in Ohio with that system. But really, guys, that's from now until Tuesday evening. That's it. That's our next little thing. So now I'm just going to jump ahead to not this Friday, next Friday, which would be the 9th. And that's when things get a little more interesting. So we go ahead to the 9th of January. That's when we start to see a more active jet stream pattern There you can see a larger storm system in the works here out to our west. Joe Banks was 15. It was a blast in 1978. And Erica, I'm jealous, watching from Florida. They had a freeze warning down there. Thanks for tuning in from a long ways out. All right, here we go. There's some rain moving in next Friday. This is Friday at 4 p.m. This is a pretty large storm system, it looks like, and both the GFS and the European weather model have this wet weather here for us. This here is on the 10th, going into the 10th, so going into Saturday. So Friday into next Saturday, the 9th, 10th, looks like a next decent chance for some rain. As I precip type this, so factoring in the temperatures with the precipitation, if you're wondering where the snow is with this system, it is well to the north. So we are on the warm side of the system. Speaking of which, bringing up the temperature map here, I'm going to go back to Friday the 9th. That's at 4 p.m. Let me go back farther. I want to show you the warmth. What is going on with this weather model? Those temperatures are not correct. It's going to be warmer than that. I'm not buying these temperatures. And that shows a little bit of a warm up there. We may have a chance at some 60s late next week as this system approaches. I'm going to throw out that look there. All right, here's Sunday, the 11th. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, chance of precipitation across the area. This is going into the 11th afternoon. This is not good stuff. That would be a stalled out frontal boundary. If that were to happen, that would mean maybe some days of rainfall before that clears out and moves off to the east. Behind that slow moving system, we may have some chillier temperatures working back into the area. This is, I believe the 12th is a Monday, some kind of normal cold around the area. And the really cold air, look at that. It's like the US-Canada border is just locking it up there. And that's fine with me. So that's the extreme polar air staying north of the border for now. I'm just kind of waiting to see if that gets unlocked anytime soon in the long range. We're now going to the 14th of January. It's still locked up there. Now, we might be chilly, but normal chilly, not extreme. But eventually, if we get the jet stream to buckle, if it takes a dip, that jet stream is like a brick wall. It keeps everything locked up north. But if it does take a dive, which eventually it will, there's a lot of cold air up there poised to move south. We'll see. Right now, I'm not seeing that happening. It's still locked up to the north through the 15th of January. And that's as far out as the good old weather model goes. And that is because the orientation of the jet stream. So if you see, let me just draw something out here. You got extreme cold north. You've got warm air south. We are right in the middle, which means the jet stream is flying right through our area. And when you're in the middle ground, you can get most likely wet systems for our area, especially if we have a southwest flow. And you're going to get near normal temperatures, little fluctuations up and down, but nothing extreme either way. So let me erase that and bring up the jet stream map and see if it matches up with my hypothesis, and it does. So there you go. There's the jet stream pattern. You've got a polar jet stream. You got a subtropical jet stream. Subtropical jet coming off the Pacific, and then the polar jet is to the north. The polar jet is not diving south, so we're not getting that extreme cold. Again, it is locked. It is blocked. The cold air is blocked from coming south right here. We are in the middle here with this jet coming off the Pacific. If we get the flow off the Pacific, we're not getting polar air. but that's called like the Pineapple Express, the atmospheric river. It can spread systems our way. When you got the Pineapple Express coming off the Pacific, you get these little dips in the jet stream. See this dip right here? That dip would start making a low pressure system, and that can bring in more wet weather to our region. So with that said, with that kind of pattern, you're looking all right. Looks like I got a little drop out there. Cheers again this morning. So let's add up total amount of rainfall over the next couple of weeks. It could be a decent amount, unfortunately. This is total precipitation. And there is kind of a bullseye over our region. And let's just see what this adds up. So that would not be good. You can handle 1 to 3 inches or so with this damp ground, no evaporation. The plants are not soaking it up. But this shows a decent amount of wet weather. This is not snow. We're too warm to get snow, it looks like, over the next couple of weeks overall. So we're looking at this weather pattern possibly beginning next weekend, not this weekend. So that is a look at the long-range forecast. Before we wrap this up with that, I'm going to bring up the Climate Prediction Center's 6 to 10-day outlook as we expand out the view here. And so this remains the same, really warm air out west, still not good for the Colorado ski season. Much of the United States a bit warmer than normal. Now we're on the edge of this, so we're kind of near normal, which means 40s or 50s over the next 7 days. And then we can try to bring up the 8 to 14-day outlook here for us, which I think will look kind of similar, which shows generally above normal temperatures as well. We have got a couple comments popping in here. Orlean Whitlow, remembering 1978, lived in Oldham County at the time. Boy, it was deep. I wish I was around back then. Linda Wright, Happy New Year to you. Thanks for tuning in here this morning. And Steve Givens, thanks for popping in the comments. Appreciate you. Loving the Ben at 10 show. Keep up the great work. Happy New Year from Brandenburg, Kentucky. And Deborah Humphrey, Happy New Year to you. Thank you, guys. Love all the positivity here this morning. All right, that is that. Now, the monthly probably isn't going to show up much with the Climate Prediction Center here. Oh, I will bring up, let's see if they're locking on the precipitation chances here. So the monthly doesn't normally show much. So this is 8 to 14-day precipitation outlook from the Climate Prediction Center, a division of the National Weather Service. Not much to show there. Some of these maps are really boring looking unless you got some extremes. Okay, so this shows 6 to 10-day outlook. So more towards the 10-day, which would be next weekend, showing United States getting the green means above normal chances of above average precipitation. So that's what that says there. All right. Heading back home here. Let's look at the current conditions across the United States. A lot of 30s all the way to the Gulf Coast. Chilly numbers out there. All right, so we looked ahead to the long-range outlook. So that has been the good old Ben on the Limb segment. So there's a live look outside. Got some mostly cloudy conditions, some mid-level flat clouds out there. It is going to be mostly cloudy here for our New Year's Eve. There's the fallsoftheohiofoundation.org camera loading up and refreshing. extolmag.com/weather. Got two different interactive maps here you can play around with whenever you want. We got lower 30s around the area here. This interactive map has dozens of weather layers on it. Upper right-hand corner is an orange circle. You click on that. I'm clicking on the satellite here. And hey, you guys in Kentucky, especially south of the parkways, have some sunshine down there. We do not here in southern Indiana. Looks like there are some parts of the clouds that thin out. So we'll say mostly cloudy. We might get some peaks of sun every once in a while. But generally a pretty thick layer of clouds there over the Great Lakes, over much of the Ohio Valley, and then a lot of sunshine over the south. Man, when we lived in Augusta, Georgia for a few years, we had sunshine like all the time. Very few cloudy days down there in eastern Georgia. I'm going to fire up the forecast here again for you as we start to wrap up a New Year's Eve at 10:35. And let me get rid of this and add this. And once again, thank you all for your support here in 2025. Wishing you a very pleasant, peaceful, prosperous 2026, 250th anniversary of the United States here coming up. And our chilly dry pattern will continue here through probably the middle of next week. We may get a few flurries tonight flying up near Madison, Indiana. Most of us won't see that. And then active weather, as we saw on the long-range models, late next week into the weekend. One day until the new year, average coldest temperatures in 17 days. But we might not see the coldest until after that. Time change in 68 days, March 8th, and spring, March 20th in 79 days. Been a lot of weather history on this date. I'm going to put that on my page on Facebook at about noon today. It's already on the weather story at extolmag.com/weather. And our stupid weather jokes today. My resolution is to stop procrastinating. Hey, but I'll wait until tomorrow to start. Tomorrow is the start of the resolutions. Do you have any resolutions? Are you done with resolutions? Are you making new ones? Let's celebrate New Year's by making poor decisions. P-O-U-R. Pouring a champagne. Knock, knock. Who's there? Ben. Ben who? Been waiting on the ball drop all day. Got my first Ben joke in there. All right, today's forecast for your Wednesday, December the 31st. 40 degrees today. Chilly breezes, mostly cloudy. Southwest wind steady at around 10 to 15 miles per hour. Sunset at 5:32. And tonight's low, 30 degrees. So kind of normal chilly. A few flurries off to the northeast, west-northwest wind at around 5 to 15. Your New Year's Eve ball drop forecast as temperatures drop to near freezing by midnight, otherwise in the 30s. With the wind at around 10, it will feel like the 20s. So if you're out and about, just need the jacket. And then tomorrow for our January 1st, 2026, 34 at noon, 38 at 4 p.m. And a quiet day, a quiet start to the new year as we have mostly dry conditions here throughout the 7-day forecast. Looking at lower 40s for Friday and Saturday, and then maybe some 50s next Monday and Tuesday as we get life back to normal with a full work week of work and maybe a slight rain chance by maybe next Tuesday evening, but not a whole lot happening in this here 7-day forecast. All right, we've got Deborah Humphrey. Hey, Happy New Year to you. Thanks for tuning in. Beverly Hagest. I lived in Lanesville. Snow was very deep, and it was cold when I was 16 there, talking about the good old snow of 1978. All right. And once again, I want to thank our partners here on Bennett 10, Extol Weather, Extol Media, Lyons Roofing, LYONS. Boy, have they had a busy year. All thanks, or mostly thanks, to the March hailstorm of 2025. As we look back to the big events, that was a big event in 2025. Do you remember the hailstorm that moved through New Albany and Sellersburg? And then right after that, we were gearing you up. April 2nd was our first Bennett 10 with meteorologist John Gordon from the National Weather Service, recently retired. And we had like 90,000 views on that first show because we were talking about the April historic flooding on the Ohio River and the inches and inches of rain that we got from that. So it was a crazy late spring, late winter, early spring. And I've talked about this on the show before too. My mom's house had tree through the roof and damage to the ceiling and all that. Thankfully, again, Lions Roofing helped out that situation, along with her insurance agent, my insurance agent, Michael Long. You can get a quote here. A big part of insurance, of course, you want to get a good deal, but the communication is key. Navigating through life's unfortunate events, which I've had happen. I've hit a deer a couple years ago that almost totaled our car. I had a motorcycle T-bone me in downtown Louisville. So to get through that stuff, it's always nice to have somebody you can count on. And here you go, Michael Long at amfam.com. 812-578-3072. Give him a shout. And speaking of folks you can count on here, they've got great facilities, great folks here at Ivy Tech Community College, powering the workforce here in Southern Indiana, providing thousands of our youth, and maybe not youth, maybe you're middle-aged and you want to try something else. They've got the resources for you right here in our backyard. Highway 311, I-65, 9 miles north of Louisville. Check out their campus. You can sign up for Tuesdays at the Tech, get that one-on-one information, and you can learn more about everything there. Almost everything, unless you head there personally at ivytech.edu. Just go to locations and go to Sellersburg. And they get time to register for their spring sessions here coming up pretty soon. And finally, I want to thank our partners here at Lives Paving. So it's amazing how they schedule things. I've been helping them every day with forecasts, trying to make their jobs as efficient as possible. And you've probably seen their crews out there. I promise you, they are trying to get those jobs done, whether they're repaving a street near you or a driveway or a parking lot or foundation of a commercial building. They're doing it as efficiently as they possibly can in the right way. And you can maybe have an opportunity for you or somebody that you know in the new year. You can go to their career section. I'm scrolling down right here, and you can apply now right there online. Always love talking about the opportunities here in our area. Follows the OhioFoundation.org camera showing the cloudy conditions across the areas we are here, starting off our New Year's Eve with temperatures in the lower 30s here this morning. And one last reminder before we head into the new year, if you ever want to get a hold of me, boom, you can do that right here. If you ever have a weather question, or if you want to learn about advertising and marketing solutions here on this show, on my content, Extol Weather, Extol Media, we'll be your Southern Indiana megaphone, Louisville, Kentucky, Indiana, all over the region. Millions of views this year. And you can get a hold of us, Ben at extolmag.com or Jason at extolmag.com to learn more right there. And once again, thank you guys very much for tuning in here this year. And we've got a couple more comments here. Beverly Haggis saying, have a fun and safe night tonight. Lillian Lasley with those well wishes too. Vicky Berger, thanks for tuning in. Wishing you a wonderful 2026. Same to you and your family. And Beverly Haggis, we might leave it right there with have a fun and safe night. And I'll leave it with this graphic right here. We appreciate you guys so much. Let's make it an amazing 2026. We've got some fun stuff to look forward to. We'll have some fun announcements in early 2026, some exciting stuff heading our way. All right. Have a pleasant, peaceful, and prosperous 2026. We'll leave it with Erica right here. We'll see you next year.